I know why you're all here. She's sitting right here.
Hey.
Hello, makers, and welcome back to Making Conversation. I'm your host, Jen Joyce, and I'm joined by two co-hosts who insist on being a part of this introduction. This is Marcelo. That's Benny. If you've been around here for a while, you have definitely met them and or maybe just heard them. This podcast is where I sit down with makers, designers, dyers, and artists to talk about what they create, why they do it, and the stories that shape their work. I like to think of this podcast as the perfect thing to throw on while you're working on your whip. Back in August at Flock Fiber Festival, I had the absolute honor of sharing the stage with many fiber artists who create delicious yarn, design beautiful patterns, but also create the things that are yarn adjacent but make our crafty time that much better. Now, in this episode, I chat with somebody that many of you likely already know and love. Andrea Mowry hardly needs an introduction, but I'm going to give it a shot. Andrea is the heart, soul, and brain behind DreaReneeKnits. She is one of the most beloved designers in the fiber world, and a lot of her patterns probably feel like old friends to us. We got to sit down and talk about her maker journey, her creative process, the ups and downs of designing, her inspirations, and also a few things that you might not know by just following her online. We had so much fun chatting on stage that day, and my heart was filled with so much joy just looking out to the absolutely packed crowd with so many smiling faces. I even had some conversations with vendors after the chat, and they told me that there was a moment where they looked around and they were like, "Where did everyone go?" And then they looked at their watch and realized it was 2:00, and they were like, "Oh, right, Andrea's on stage with Jen." That made me laugh, but it also reminded me how important it is and how much we all love getting the chance to connect with people who inspire us. And if you're new here, hi, I'm so glad that you found your way here. This podcast is a passion project for me. I love this community. I love yarn. I love knitting, and I love storytelling. It's been a huge part of my work in marketing, and it's what I bring here too. My goal with this podcast is to dive a little deeper with some of your favorite makers so that hopefully you walk away not only learning something new, but also with this feeling of being a little bit more connected to them as people and getting to know them a little bit more than just the pretty photos on their feed. If you'd like to support the podcast, here are a few quick and easy things to do. Subscribe right here on YouTube. Share with your maker friends. Post it on social. Send an email or text. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you feel like tossing a little extra support my way, my Ko-fi is linked below. Every little bit helps me keep bringing these conversations to you. And don't forget to continue on this little journey of Flock Talks past. I've already posted some of the conversations that we had on stage at Flock Fiber Festival, and more are coming. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
So how many of you have knit an Andrea Mowry pattern? I mean, I'm not surprised, but I love that so much.
Thank you.
Oh, as we always start on the podcast and at each of these talks, tell us your maker journey. Where did everything begin?
Yeah, so I think I was always a pretty artsy, crafty kid.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma had 11 grandkids, and for some reason, which she cannot remember, she taught me how to knit. No one else. I did ask her once, like, "Grandma, why did you teach me?" And she was like, "I don't know. It's a long time ago, honey."
Intuition.
Intuition. She knew she needed to plant that seed.
Yeah.
So she taught me when I was probably 9, and I made a little blanket for a teddy bear that I never bound off because my grandma taught me to knit, not to cast on, not to purl, and not to bind off, just to knit. So it stayed on the needle, and I had it probably until I moved out of my mother's house. But she planted the seed that came back when I was a teenager and did not know what to do once I graduated high school. So,
okay.
And it came back.
So did you take breaks through childhood and high school?
Yep. So I knit that half a teddy bear blanket. And then when I was 17, I graduated high school and was like, what do I do now? And I would walk to the bookstore and always beelined for the craft section, like right away. And I would just stare. And thankfully, Stitch and Bitch came out. And I retaught myself from that. And I know a lot of people have that same story. It like gave us the handbook to return to it. I will say I dove deep, as many of us have. Like you find your rhythm and it just becomes your favorite thing. Thank goodness. But I was up north at my grandmother's cottage and I am sitting there and she looks at me and she goes, honey, what are you doing? I was like, I'm knitting. And she was like, kind of. Turns out sometimes the illustrations are adaptable, but I was twisting all of my stitches. So I actually did a little like homage to that in some of my earlier patterns where I would twist every other row of stitches to create like this broken stockinette. But I thought it was cute that I thought I was knitting.
Yeah.
And Grandma had to teach me again.
Grandma. Well, good thing she was there.
Yeah.
So what led you from making, besides graduating high school and being like, oh God, what do I do?
Yep.
What led you from making for yourself to designing for others?
So it was a long and bumpy, winding road. Early on, I really was like, wow, could I make knitting my job? Couldn't figure out how to do that. So I tried and I failed. It still lives on Instagram. You can go back and see it because I shared about it. There's a blog post about it. But I was like, okay, I don't know how to make it my job. So I've always created with my hands. So after that, I had moved and I started working in a bakery and the owner noticed I had nice handwriting and said, hey, you want to decorate cakes? And I said, yes, I do. So I started learning how to bake. I went to a hippie vegan culinary school and I became a pastry chef. So that was job number one.
Okay.
And then I did hair as well. Job number two, I was really great at shaving designs into people's hair.
Oh.
And then fast forward, I had my first child. I wasn't working and really wanted to still buy yarn. So I was like, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try once more to publish a pattern. And then it just took off and I have never looked back. So I started DreaReneeKnits when my daughter was 8 months old.
And she is now
11.
11.
Yeah.
First of all, you should get together with Jam PDX and talk about cake decorating.
Yes.
Because that's where one of them started as well.
It's so fun.
And second of all, what is the most interesting thing that you shaved into somebody's head?
Fish scales.
Oh.
I had one person who would come in, she'd let it grow out, and then she'd let me shave it again, and I got to do whatever I wanted. And we did fish scales, and they were like really top of my game.
Nice.
It went downhill after that. I wasn't, if I wasn't shaving in a design, I was like, oh, I forgot how to actually do just a normal haircut. So.
As a designer, what is your process like from like spark of an idea to final design?
So it can vary. Sometimes it starts with the yarn. Sometimes I'll find yarn that I'm like, oh my gosh, I just really want to knit this. Sometimes and probably most often, it's either a gap in my wardrobe where I'm like, oh, I want that to be able to wear, or a stitch pattern that like really has me excited and I want to see what could I do with this. And it always begins with joy. I should backpedal and say, like, what's going to make me feel the most joy in this moment? So it might be the yarn. It might be the texture. It might be a new cardigan that goes with the pants I just made.
Creating with joy is so important, especially when you're doing something for business, because otherwise you're going to burn out.
100%.
Yeah. I'm glad that was part of your answer.
Yeah.
Do you have any rituals that help you transition into a creative space when you're designing?
Yeah, I think, when I think about that question, it kind of makes me think about when I'm maybe struggling to get into the creative space. So there's my daily rhythms. I have been doing it for a long time, and I think I've been creative my whole life. So I can kind of drop into it. But there are times when it's harder. It's harder to get there. Has it all been done before? There are times when you have to dig a little deeper. And during those times, I definitely turn to flipping through stitch dictionaries because there's so many that I haven't tried. So I'll be like, okay, like 10,000 Post-it notes later, that'll kind of usually get me going. Or I start looking through yarn and just swatching. I have what I call a swatch party. And I just hunker down on the sofa with random balls of yarn and needles and I just play. And that's how some of like my favorite designs have come to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A swatch party.
Yeah. Best party.
How do you decide which ideas to follow and which ones to let go?
So I tend to overcomplicate. There can be like a more is more in the beginning of any idea. I always want to do it all. I'm like, ooh, some of this and some of this and some of this. And then you just realize, whoa, way too much. And so then I have to simplify. I do some of my best thinking in the shower. So a lot of times it's me like standing in the shower and I'll draw things on the door. And that's when I'll kind of I'll pare it back down and make those decisions of like, okay, I've got too much going on. Let's take some of this away. And sometimes a design, probably once a year, I will completely do a whole pattern and then say, no, I don't like it. This one's not going to make it out into the world. But usually once I simplify, then it all kind of comes together and that helps direct my path. Yeah.
So now when you knit DreaReneeKnits pattern, it probably started when she was showering.
Yes.
You've shared so much of yourself through your work, and a lot of people feel connected to you because of that. But this craft is so personal. There are always parts of us that don't make it into a pattern or a post on the internet. What is something about you that people might not know just from following your work?
That's a tough one. I mean, do we go vulnerable or silly?
I mean, I can give you an example.
Oh, okay.
A couple of years ago, Barcelona Knits invited me to do interviews during the festival. And I chatted with Amy from Lobby and Amy.
Yeah.
And I asked this question. She's a black belt.
Hey, way to go, Amy.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be
those
exactly
skills.
like that, but it's like, is there something that like, none of us.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it also makes me think of the skewed vision we get through social media. We see a lot of beautiful photos and it really gives us this lovely image of people's lives. I mean, I just spilled the beans. This is my third career. I was a pastry chef. I did hair. Turns out doing hair for introverts, not a great idea. Baking's great. You're all by yourself early in the morning. I think one thing, I don't know if everyone knows about me, I have 4 autoimmune disorders, and that's probably something you don't really see through my Instagram. I love pickleball.
Oh.
We kind of touched on a few different areas there. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm good at it. I'm no black belt at pickleball, but I can sometimes beat my husband real good.
Oh, nice. That's something to be proud of.
Yes.
For sure. Has there ever been a design that didn't go the way you hoped, but it taught you something?
Yes. So remember how I said I tried to make this my job? If I can paint you a picture, I was living in New Zealand. I was about 20. And I was like, okay, I really want to do this. This was in the blogging days. This is pre-Ravelry. And I made a blog friend with somebody from the Netherlands. And we both submitted patterns to a book. My pattern, I should backpedal further. I went to a school where I had to wear a uniform. It's taken me a long time to catch up with how to dress myself. So just keep that tucked away in the back of your head. So what I came up with was a tube top made out of very woolly wool. Very, very woolly wool. I'm talking hairy. I'm talking a little bit of the sheep was still in there. And I kind of thought myself a hippie at the time because trying on things it's confusing when you've had to wear a uniform for a long time. So I was like, let's try this out. So I knit a tube top, but I wanted to really express beyond the woolly wool, my heart, which loved trees. So I intarsiaed a tree onto the tube top.
Oh.
But I said, is it clear that I love them? Maybe not. So there was a red heart in the middle of the tree trunk, but I still didn't know, is my message getting across? So I wrote, tree hugger. I'm not lying. Here's the thing. When you knit a tube top and you know nothing about shaping, because had I knit a sweater before, I'm not sure at that time. So I just knit a tube. It was a literal tube top. But you got to keep it up because I made it out of woolly wool.
Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't rain. Yeah. So I knit an I-cord.
I mean, you're going to be sweating for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the body heat alone It's
Food
like you
sweat is real with that.
sauna,
Like, I'm
though.
just thinking about it, and
Yeah.
wow, yeah.
So I made an I cord. It turned into a halter. I tied it around my neck.
Mhm.
So again, I was living in New Zealand. It was probably winter. So it was a little too cold for a tube top. And I thought, no problem. I'll throw it on over this pink thermal. It'll be fine. So I layered the tube top over the pink thermal. And I also had a barrette from when I was 3 years old in my hair. I don't know why it didn't get into the book.
I don't know either. But look at how far you've come.
But what it taught me was that it was okay. It did not in any way lessen my love for this craft. I mean, I had a little pity party. I wrote a blog post again. You can still find it. And I was a little heartbroken that, okay, this path isn't for me. But you know what I did to comfort myself was I knit.
Mhm.
And I loved that it taught me that no matter like what's going on in my life, the highs and the lows, I have this really, really special thing to help me process those feelings.
Yes, and a very special tube top.
It also taught me a little more about my personal style and what I needed to work on.
Yeah, congratulations. So what's inspiring you lately? Colors, textures, music, places, etc.?
Always colors and textures, always.
Mhm.
But also I have to say it's been so fun to be in Seattle this week because man, the fashion. Street
Mhm.
fashion walking around has been really, really fun to check out. I moved back to my hometown and there's not a lot of fashion. There's a lot of, Big 10 students. So they all wear the same thing. So it's really fun to be somewhere where literally everyone's dressed differently. So
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Seattle is a good spot for that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking with Yona lately about how she gets really inspired by looking at like all of the fashion week like content on Instagram. And that answer kind of reminded me of that. So
Yeah.
it's fun. What's been one of the most surprising or meaningful messages that you've received from someone who's knit one of your patterns?
Actually, somebody just came up yesterday, and I will tell you the biggest compliment I think I can receive as a designer is when somebody knits my pattern not just once, but more than once. And yesterday I met someone who has knit the shifty cowl 15 times.
Oh my goodness.
15! I was like, oh, you got your money worth with that pattern. I am so excited. And I mean, the fact that we're all vying for your time, knitting's a slow craft. So to choose to knit one of my patterns more than once, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
Did they tell you, like, did they use the same, like, brand of yarn for each one?
I didn't ask. I think that they did start playing with colors a lot.
Oh, good.
It's a good one to get zany with your
It is.
colors. And like, if you want to play with colors, but you're nervous, I feel like they all look good.
Yeah. And then it's not like a whole sweater.
Yeah. And now their whole family can match.
Yes.
Extra bonus.
What is a moment where you've felt truly proud, not just of the finished object, but of yourself?
I was at another event and I was teaching, and you always hope that people enjoy your classes or your talks. I'm a little bit of a worrier and a nervous Nelly, so I get real nervous before each one. I was in my classroom at the end of the day and I'm packing up, and I hear two of my students walk by, and they were talking about how much they learned and how much they enjoyed it, and they didn't know I could hear. It was the best eavesdropping I've ever done. It was that, there's a lot of imposter syndrome trying to be a teacher, trying to act like I know anything, putting your artwork out into the world. It's all nerve-wracking. And so to hear somebody who didn't even know I could hear say that they really enjoyed it, felt like I got to believe it myself. Yeah.
Those messages of encouragement, whether they know that you can hear them or not.
Yeah. Whether you're doing this.
Yeah. Because what you do a lot is just by yourself.
A lot of alone time.
Yeah. And I understand that too, doing this podcast. Every once in a while, I'll start getting some doubts like, I don't know, I do this for fun. Like, should I keep going? And then literally the universe is like, hold on, let me make sure that you get a DM or an email or a comment saying that it just like makes somebody's day.
Yeah.
And so tell the people that you enjoy their creativity that you enjoy it. Because it is like, it's a little boost. It's a little boost for us.
You know what I do? I highly recommend. I have a kindness folder. Ooh, every time I get a kind email, I save it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's pretty full, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Might be more full after this.
My email is no.
Okay, so I've started doing this on the podcast, and it's like a fun little way to get to know you better in short form answer. But if you feel like you need to explain yourself, you can have more of a long form answer.
Okay.
It's like
Ready.
rapid fire questions. Ready? A walk, a nap, or a dance break?
Walk always.
I knew that was going to be it. But I just had to
Yeah.
ask it. 'Cause-
Preferably with knitting and an audiobook.
Yep. Okay. Well, what are you listening to right now?
What am I listening to? I don't ever remember the names because I just
That's okay.
listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Good
remember
one.
before we're done and I'll
Yeah.
shout it out.
Oh, yeah.
The Road to Tender Hearts.
Oh,
Quirky. Yes. Unlike anything I've read.
nice. Okay. We got there. I love it. Something you always have in your bag besides your keys, wallet, or whip?
Headphones.
Headphones.
Always.
Because you got to drown out.
I do. I like to. Sometimes I just wear them because they feel like a blanket.
Oh, yeah.
Your brain.
Oh, yeah.
Highly recommend.
Mhm. First concert you ever went to?
Oh, no. This is a little bit embarrassing. 98 Degrees.
Yes.
Not to age myself, but Jessica Simpson was the opener before her and Nick Lachey got married.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to see your boy band and raise you New Kids on the Block.
Well, that kind of should have been my first, but I was a late bloomer.
What is your current comfort TV show or movie?
Okay, so I don't really watch TV,
Okay.
but I'm currently watching Ripley. I wouldn't call it comfort, though. It's
Oh, yeah.
spooky.
Yeah.
Well, there's murder.
Yeah. There's
Yes. So not so comforting, but I'm very much, I've read 80 books this year. I'm a book person.
You're very much a book person. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
See, my ADHD says, no, you cannot be a book person. You shall be a TV person.
That's how I feel about TVs and movies.
Yeah.
I've offered to teach Peter DreaReneeKnits. I'm like, aren't you bored?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's why I knit is
Yeah.
because of my ADHD.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite stitch to knit right now?
Oh, that's hard. My knee jerk is brioche, but man, do I love some garter
Yeah.
and mosaic.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with stockinette.
No, definitely not.
I don't know if I've met a stitch I don't like.
Some stitch out there is like challenge accepted.
Purl two together through the back loop. Wouldn't want to do a lot.
Yeah. Especially when you're walking. Listening
Yeah.
to an audiobook.
Not trying to trip.
No. What's a hobby or activity that you love that has nothing to do with fiber?
Pickleball.
Oh, right. Well, yes.
Sewing right
Oh,
now has
yeah.
got my heart just.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun to see you like get back into the groove of
You know what goes great with knitting? Sewing. You can
What's
make
that?
a whole outfit. Yeah. Mhm.
I won't ask you to stand up and twirl. What's a tiny joy from this week?
Getting to chat with other knitters and makers. We just moved back to my hometown and I don't really have like my knitting group. So just getting to be surrounded and also seeing everyone in like their favorite knits and just the joy. I mean, everyone is just so excited and getting to be around all that is just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen a knit that somebody has been wearing and you're like, ooh, I want to make that for myself?
Well,
You don't have time to make for yourself?
Well, I do, but I only knit my own patterns.
Right.
I've tried.
Mhm.
But what happens is this kicks in and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta have. But I have seen people wearing my patterns. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knit another one of those.
Oh, yeah. That works. That works. I mean,
Hi, sorry to interrupt. You're about to notice that the camera decided that it was done for the day. Did it have a full battery? Yes. Did it decide to just shut off and stop working? Also, yes. But this is why I decided to record the audio separately. Tech is so fun sometimes. I just had a conversation with Marcy from Bad Cheap Yarn, And she told me that her husband is an audio engineer, like does this for a job, for work every single day. And he says that this stuff happens all of the time, which honestly made me feel so much better. I will say there was a moment where I was like, what if I took photos of me and Andrea on stage and edited the mouths so it kind of looked like how they do on South Park, but I did not do that. We're just gonna have a laugh about it, roll with it, and get back to Andrea's chat.
That is the end of the rapid fire questions. So now we're
okay.
back to diving in. What do you hope people feel when they make one of your patterns?
Joy, first and foremost. I believe strongly that one of the best things about knitting is there's different ways to do almost every technique.
Yeah.
So you can find the ways that brings you the most joy. And I think when we lead with that, it won't steer you wrong. You're going to love what you've made.
Mm-hmm. I think that we've all kind of gone through this before, but like when you're making for yourself, sometimes you can lose the joy.
Oh, 100%.
And maybe that's because like,
you know
mess
something's
up
wrong.
or- yeah.
Yes, it's a red flag.
Mhm.
Don't ignore the red flags.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the color. Maybe you're not sure if you picked the right size. Every time I do that, you know what it is? You'll be knitting and you keep setting it down. And you're like, oh, I set it down again. You do like 3 more stitches and then all of a sudden you're on Instagram or you're just getting distracted. And I'm like, it's because you know. And so I try to listen to that and follow the joy. Like if it's not filling you up, life's too short.
Yeah. So it's okay to rip out all of those whips that have
Oh.
been sitting in your basket for the last
Yes.
year plus.
Yes. Rip for joy.
Free yarn.
So the greatest thing about knitting is you can just unravel unless you steek. But otherwise, you can use that yarn till it falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
If you could leave this community with one reminder today about creativity, self-expression, or just being human, what would it be?
Ooh, I would share. I actually talked about this recently, but maybe it will connect with some of you as well. I am very, very shy and very introverted. And one of the things that knitting and creativity has given me is a way to tell people about myself without ever having to tell people about myself. So I feel that way with my tattoos, but especially with how I dress, with my clothing, with my sweaters. So when I am wearing clothing I've made, I feel like the truest expression of myself. And I hope you can maybe tuck that away. And especially when you're looking for your next pattern or your next yarn, like doing what lights you up. Because then when you do it and you wear it or you gift it, like you're just adding more joy and creativity and happiness to the world. And I think it's one of the ways we can be our best selves and our truest selves.
Well, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's been so great.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Hear about your journey and all the joy that comes with it. Maybe you need to make a tube top that says joy.
Joy. Joy. I'm going to think of all the different iterations I can include to really get the message across.
Yes.
I don't want to confuse anyone.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. It's been so fun to see you. I'm sorry we didn't have enough chairs. I hope the ground is okay. Lots of thumbs up. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.